Let's take a look at the new features in Real-Time Custom Cabinetry Solutions version 22.2. Please notice we're starting up Revit and selecting a generic template. We're then coming over and telling it we'd like to start a new project. This allows us to be able to set the stage by loading a project in that has a cube that will allow us to be able to then begin subdividing it. In addition to being able to start new projects, we can also load sample projects. Here we're starting Revit, going over to our software's tool, telling it which template we'd like to load or sample file, and then telling it to load it. Please notice that we're entering numbers into the field that allows us to be able to tell it which template or sample file we'd like to load. Please notice that there are multiple different examples through these sample files. You have standard galley kitchens, U-shaped kitchens, cabinetry for wall systems. In this example, we'll see a space frame grid loaded into the software so that we can see how it's already been split up so that we can then begin using the tools. Please notice that we've added additional functionality to be able to tell it that we'd like to have the system automatically set up. In this version, we now have multiple different artificial intelligence algorithms to apply different cabinet types and panel types into the program. We'll now switch over and tell it to globally change it from one style to another style. In this example, we'll take a look at a wall system. We'll use the new classic cabinetry. This has been a popular request for some time, is to have custom trim automatically applied and then have the ability to modify the trim once it's been placed into the design. Now we're going to tell it to globally change. Please notice the different mullions that are inside the windows, automatically updating. Now we'll take a look at being able to turn molding on and off for single cabinets. Please notice that the single tool is turned on over in the scope panel. We tell it what we'd like to do, and then we can click on individual grids, or I should say panels within the design, and you'll notice that it's automatically updating for us. This is a quick way to be able to change individual pieces of casework. Now we're going to tell it that we'd like to be able to do this on a global basis. So we'll turn on the global button, come back over and tell it we'd like to change the type of detail for turning this molding off. And you'll notice that it happens on a global basis. Please be prepared based on the performance of your computer for this to take several minutes. This is a lot of work that it's going through, automatically placing all of that trim work in for you. In this example, we'll take a look at turning the glazing bars on. Here we have the single setting and telling it we'd like glazing bars in specific locations. And by selecting each individual cabinet, we're able to place those in. In this example, we'll take a look at performing the same function globally. We'll turn on the global function, come over to our detail type for molding, tell it to turn the bars on. Again, this may take several minutes as it goes through and processes all of the cabinets in the entire design. Here we'll take a look at the different molding profiles. You'll notice that we have it set for single. So now we can take a look at molding type number 1. Take a look at molding type number 2. And again, to take a look at molding type number 3. In this example, we'll take a look at adjusting the molding offset. Please notice that we use the RCCS data entry to be able to enter information. In this case, it happens to be metric, so we're telling it 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. We're then able to go through and click on individual cabinets, and you'll notice that each of the molding offsets has then been pushed out by 1 centimeter. In this example, we'll take a look at performing the same task globally. We'll turn on the global, we'll set the parameter to 10 millimeters, we'll tell it that the detail molding offset needs to be pushed out. Again, this may take a while depending on the performance of your computer and the complexity of the model that you're working on. Next, we'll tell the system to flip the molding. As you can see, this simply reverses the profile for a rather dramatic effect. Now we're going to go through and adjust the bars count on a single cabinet basis. You'll notice that we've put in the data entry. We're telling it how many bars we need, and then we're able to, on a single by single basis, be able to go in and adjust that. In this case, we're adjusting the horizontal bars down to 1. So this is giving us 1 stroke across. Now we're going to tell it to do the same thing, except we're going to tell it to do it globally this time. So we'll come over and tell it to modify the detail for the bar count horizontal. And then we just wait for the system to automatically do it for us. In this case, we'll do the same thing for bar count single. We're going to again set it to 1. Now we'll do the vertical bars. This allows us to select the upper cabinets, and you'll notice that the mullions on the inside of the glass are automatically adjusted to 1. And because we can do that globally. So we'll set the data entry to 1, use the global button, come back over and tell it that we'd like to set the vertical bar count to 1. And with 1 click and a little bit of patience, the system will then go through and automatically update everything for us. In this case, we're going to take a look at a space frame. Here we're setting a vertical offset. Don't forget that you need to input the data entry. You can use positive or negative numbers. Then select the appropriate tool. Simply click on what you'd like to adjust. And in this case, we're noticing that we're taking the shelving and we're pushing it down the distance, in this case, the thickness or width of the space frame, to allow the shelving to become recessed down into the space frame. In this case, we're taking care of vertical offsets to be able to allow us to take individual components in the space frame and be able to move them vertically within their panel. Thank you for taking the time to review the Realtime Custom Cabinetry solution. For additional information or to purchase the software, please visit bimcabinets.com.